Hey guys, back again with another review. Decided to do another one. I happen to have the toy, so let's get down to business. As you can see, this is the S.H MonsterArts Mechagodzilla, also known as Mechagodzilla 2. I was really apprehensive about getting this figure. For some reason, I really didn't like it, and actually, I kind of see why I didn't get it. I'll get into that in a bit, but I'll give it a little slack, being that this is, I think, the second S.H MonsterArts to be released. So a lot of the problems this figure has, future figures have improved upon, but I'll get into that in a second. Let's just get a breakdown of the box. Every S.H MonsterArts figure has an amazing box. I think they get better each time. This one's no exception. It's got a very nice picture of Mechagodzilla. They always have like a good still of the monster in question. I believe since this was a first release figure, it has that logo, like it has the bonus effect part. I thought these bonus effect releases were gonna be limited, but it turns out they weren't gonna start pulling them off the shelves till way later, and a lot of online stores still had them, so I guess the point of it being an exclusive kind of, didn't make sense anymore if anybody could get the exclusive, as it were. I should point out first that this figure is from Toys R Us. I ordered this off the Toys R Us website. I will post a link to it because they have Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Space Godzilla, Moguera, Baby Godzilla, and Rodan right now. For the same prices you would get on the online stores like eBay or Amazon or any of the other like import shops, but you'll be buying it locally and it'll ship to you in a few days, so it cuts back on shipping. And also, given the price, which is about, I think, the $70-80, free shipping when a price exceeding that limit, so it's kind of worth it. Anyways, on to the rest of the box. Nice still of Mechagodzilla right here. Not the best picture, it's standard, but it's got Mechagodzilla's like chest right here. They always do that. On the back, picture of the poster, picture of production stills, standard stuff. Actually, I should note that this box is smaller. I'll be doing a comparison, but this box is a lot smaller just because Mechagodzilla doesn't have a long tail like Godzilla does. Mechagodzilla written right here in awesome shiny lettering. And then on top, as usual, Mechagodzilla right in there. They didn't do really anything creative with that, but whatever. But that's there. Onto the figure. Now, looking at it already, it's nice. It's perfect example of the movie, how it was. They've done Mechagodzilla, this version of Mechagodzilla pretty much perfect in my opinion. Even the American Trendmasters did him good. He's not a hard design. It's pretty simple. There's no real intricate like bolts and stuff like the old Mechagodzilla had. So no complaints on its overall design. I'll get into the aspects that really kind of miffed me, but overall detail, it's done well. It's done just right. Because if you recall from the movie, he just kind of had a plain body with a few details here and there, and the little details they got right. But like I said, there's not much to him. Like, you remember how Mechagodzilla looked. Nothing too complex on the guy. He was pretty standard. But they did a nice job. I kind of wish they did more, like, chrome work, but then again, Mechagodzilla didn't really have much chrome in the movie. He never really was that. He was kind of this, egg white silver, just kind of like that. Not shiny. It's got a nice reflectiveness, and I think the shadows, some of the shadows might be painted on. Some of them. But I might be wrong. But let me get down to the real details, because his overall design does not need much to talk about. Alright, articulation. Now, here's where some of the problems are going to be, but then again, I'm going to cut some slack, given of what character this is. For head movement, it has, full rotation head movement. It doesn't move his head up at all or down. I'll explain that in a bit. But it has jaw movement right there. Standard stuff. It has arm movement, limited though. Now, it makes sense because Mechagodzilla never really stretched his arms out at all, but they could have at least added it to the toy just so you don't break it by accident, because I'm pulling on the arms right now. They're not moving anywhere, they're not going anywhere. There's no outward motion of the arms, so you can't really have his arm, like, fully extended like that. It yanks the figure. His arm motion is primarily this, and this. He does have full rotation, but I really would have loved him to maybe possibly move his arm out just slightly. It's blocked a lot by that, but still, they could have made a hinge joint so this could lower down to open up that way. Then again, Mechagodzilla never really did that, but just for the sake of not having to strain this figure or pull it, not knowing it had that. His fingers have rotation. No, a little wrist joint movement like that. Then, again, nothing too complex. Swivel joint right here. He almost spins all the way, but then you'd be separating his stomach part, which is the G-Buster. He's got decent leg motion right there. Actually, surprisingly well. I think actually the best out of all of them. Because him being a robot, I guess he would have better motion. He's got movement right there in the knees, not too much, but just enough. He's got movement in the feet. Actually, a good amount right there. He actually bends at the toes, which I like. I kind of wish the other ones had that. Just because you can kind of put him in a good angle like that. No tail motion. Nothing much. Now, before I get into his accessories, I'm going to go on to the parts that really kind of bothered me. First, if you notice when I was moving this, you see that? His head's wiggling a lot. Now, the reason I think his head wiggles a lot is because he has a detachable neck for this other neck attachment, which I'll show you. But, I mean, it's not secure. I mean, I've talked to people. That's how it is. It's wiggly. Like, that. Look at him. He looks like, I don't know. I don't know why I made that noise. I apologize, but still, it looks like he's like dancing or something. Like, it's goofy. I don't know. It bothers me. Like, I mean, if you could just stand his head still. It's bad enough he can't lift his head up or down, but like, does his head have to wiggle like that? Just bothers me. Alright, my next real problem with this is, I'll actually bring an example in a second, but looking at him, you'd guess this was die-cast. You'd be wrong. A lot of him is majorly, you know, just the plastic, the regular stuff they make him out of. He's got, the only die-cast part he really has are his feet. I don't know, you can't really hear that, but, you know, that's heavy stuff. I don't know how I can really accurately show that, but he's just got die-cast feet. Now, what I was hoping for is he'd be a lot more like this. This is, the Hades Project Zeoraimer from the Super Robot Chojoken series. Now, he has a lot of die-cast in him, because he's a giant robot. Same with Mechagodzilla. He's a robot, a giant robot. Not a flesh-and-blood creature like Godzilla would be, so it would only make sense that he would have a lot more die-cast in him. They both all have die-cast in their feet. You know, this is so they don't fall over. Not that, you know, Mechagodzilla would, because he's got pretty sturdy feet. Zeoraimer might. But, I mean, he has a bunch of die-cast parts. He has die-cast parts here, and stuff. It's mainly just so he stays together, and so he's heavy and solid. Mechagodzilla doesn't have any of that. A lot of it's plastic. A lot of this should be, like I said, if he's not going to move much, why bother? You know, these guys cost the same. This one has a lot more die-cast in it. I don't know why they didn't choose to make this guy add more die-cast. He could have been a lot nicer figure, I think. Like, if you can even tell, there's a lot better chrome work on the die-cast. It feels better. Yeah, you can really tell there. Like, that's not silver paint. That's like the die-cast chrome metal right there. And it just looks nice. But the problem with it is, this is a full die-cast joint right here. Alright? That's a full die-cast joint. It's solid, it stays where it is, nothing detaches. This, on the other hand, this is die-cast. Only this, the foot. What happens a lot with this figure is, if you can see, it's very heavy. This often pops out. It's not popping out right now, but this is all plastic right here. So this heavy foot will often come loose. Not break, just come off and fall off. Because, it's being weighed down. They could have just made full die-cast legs, but they decided just to make the feet, which I thought was a very poor choice on their part. I mean, a lot of them could have been die-cast. I'm just saying, like, they're almost, I think there might even be, yeah, they're owned by the same Tamashi company, or what's it called? Give me a second. Yeah, Tamashi Nations. They both make these toys. You think they would have taken a cue from their own work, right? But I guess they didn't. You know? That's really my main complaint with this figure. Like, this figure's nice, but, like, that's killing it for me, because the die-cast will hold up. This plastic won't, especially on like, a robot figure. I hope they might improve upon that, or add die-cast to something. But, you know, that's kind of lame that they would just cheap out like that. And this was made before this figure, so I don't know why they decided to do that. It's just too heavy. I mean, it's not heavy enough. I mean, the feet are just too heavy for the body. But that's enough of that. Also, if you want me to review Zeorimer, he's kind of a kaiju in his own right. He's destroys cities and stuff. So if you want me to review this guy, I will if you commented. I'll put it on my other channel so people don't get mad at me this time for reviewing a quote-unquote anime figure. But enough about that. Let me move on to accessories and wrap this whole thing up. Alright, his accessories are as follows. He's got this pretty cool base. It's like, I guess, a piece of rocker. I don't even know what it is, but that's where you get that cool, like, rainbow breath beam or whatever. You have his extra tail, which is for flying mode. It's just straight rather than pointed downwards. Not that, you know. And also, it's a soft plastic. Change out swap for his stomach area. That's that G Crusher, G Buster. And the additional part for his neck, like I mentioned before, so he can face head upwards. 2 additional claws. These just sticking straight out right, kind of like his old-fashioned missile hands, but that's really it. It's kind of neat that they would add an additional hand, but it's nothing too special. I'm going to go over a little detail on his breath, not too much, because I don't want to seem like I'm complaining about everything, but I kind of just wish this was one solid beam, didn't like thin out like that. I know what effect they're going for, but it doesn't look right to me. That's really all about that. I'm now going to go to a final comparison between him and Godzilla. Now, overall compared, they look pretty good together, because they were released, I think, around the same time. These were the first 2, so judging by both reviews I've done for these, you can really see how much these figures have improved. Overall, they're a good match. So if you feel like getting Mechagodzilla, definitely get them. If you already have the Godzilla, they look great together. I think they're within scale of each other, I believe, so they might be slightly off, but I don't think it's by much. But as an overall recommendation for this figure, if you have the money, you love Mechagodzilla, definitely get this. This actually wasn't my ideal figure. I might actually end up selling him, but I think I'm going to hold on to him for now, but I don't know. If I was giving him a score, maybe like a 6 out of 10 from me, just because of that, but I'll give it a little slack just because this was the first, the second S.H MonsterArts to come out, so he needed a lot of work. But other than that, it's a good figure. Pick him up. I'll put the link to the Toys R Us website at the bottom, and have yourself a good day, alright? Bye.